So recently, a woman came onto YouTube and intended to scare a bunch of so called African American Christians. And I only say so called because African American is truly an arbitrary term. It was created in the early 80s. And throughout American history, the so called American Negro has been called a number of things. And if you reach back into antiquity and study those documents, the first thing you were ever called was an Aborigine. So I want you to keep that in mind. The first thing you were called, as far as the 13 colonies that became the United States of America, as far as their documents were concerned, you were called an American Aborigine. And even Columbus wrote back to Hispaniola. He wrote back to Spain and said, "Can someone tell me what the people of the Queen of Sheba are doing here?" Now, where are the Candaces that you call Kandake, or that we translated into American English as Candace, but it's really Kandake? These are queens that were queens of Nubia, queens of Kush, queens of basically East African. But how many of us know that Ethiopians don't just look like people with narrow noses and big eyes? When you get into Ethiopia, you can find every type of African phenotypical aspect. You can find large noses, type 4 hair. You can find all of those things, especially in ancient Ethiopia. You can find those 6 foot, 6 foot 4 or 5, big, buff, broad men like you have in Nigeria and all over the North and South Americas. So that's why I use this word so called, like our ancestor Malcolm X, because he also had this knowledge. So, getting back to the subject, a woman came on YouTube and did this very much, ooh, ooga booga boo, ooh, ee, ooh, ah, ting, ting, walla, walla, bing, bang. I am Oya, and I curse your children to have my facial features. So, what you make fun of on me, they will make fun of on them. Hababo sha, ooh, ah, shana na 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 na, mama say, mama sa. Mama kusa, right? And even that saying, Mama say, Mama sa, Mama kusa, is literally from an ancient African language from Samakosa, Makosa. Michael Jackson heard it from, because there was a trend on TikTok that said, "Oh, all this time you guys were saying Mama say, Mama sa, Mama kusa," when he's saying, "I'm gonna say it one more time, I'm not gonna stop. I'm gonna say it one more time, I'm not gonna stop." And I'm like, you people are hearing things. Michael was sued by Makosa and they won because he took it. That's why the sound "Mama say, Mama sa, Mama kusa" makes you dance, gives you an incredible amount of energy, because the words are ancestral, the words are powerful. And it's, I don't know the exact definition, but it translates into something, it imbues you with a spiritual dance capability. And dance is part of conjure. Uh-oh, she said conjure. I need the so-called African American to not act like that when it comes to ancestral practices. We have become like the colonizer when it comes to our Christianity. And that's on little black baby Jesus. There's a superiority complex that the Negro Christian walks around with that he got from his master. Your religion is whack, your God ain't ish, blah blah blah. All your little African demons, and you know, and it breaks my heart because while you're over here saying you're raggedy African demon, you're godless heathen, you're raggedy boo hag, whoop de whoop whoop. It breaks my heart because you know what the colonizer does? You know what the people who run Marvel, they go back into these Orisha that you demonize, and they take their stories and make Superman and Iron Man and Wonder Woman, and you marvel at it in its whitewashedness. But in its original African form, you hate it like you were taught to, like your ancestors were taught to. So they passed it down to you. Break that generational curse. Break it. Break it. This woman who got on here trying to curse people in the name of Oya, the mother of nine, Iansa, she was ignorant and she did not know. Some people just Google up Oya once or twice and think they have a grasp on what that is, and they don't. And I hate to see you, Black people. I hate to see you, copper colored people, mock it and scorn it and laugh at it and curse it because it's not what you think it is. The Yoruba people worship one God just like you do. You call him God, which is generic as I don't know what. Generic as the word Allah. Uh oh, she said Allah, the moon god. When I tell you Christian Bibles, if you're reading them in Arabic, every time they mention God, the word is Allah. English is a bastardized language composed of many other languages. Imagine if English never existed and you were approaching gods, what would you call God? You don't know. You might call him something phonetic. You might call her something, because in my opinion, the God, I don't even want to get into that because I don't want to offend you. My goal is not to unchristian you. My goal is not to, I would never, because I have dignity surrounding the subject, I would never get on here and be like, you're a little weak, whack, white ass Jesus, whoop de whoop whoop. Like cursing someone's sacred tradition, their faith is like cursing their mama. It's like it's like dragging their kids. The thing that people live and die for, you dragging it for filth. That's painful to people. But I would just caution you against the same because you cursing these orishas, you cursing these loa, you cursing these petwa spirits, it's hurting someone who doesn't walk like you, talk like you, raise like you, believe like you. You dragging Guan Yin, you dragging Mektikasiwat, you dragging Kukulkan, Koetz Quetzalcoatl, you dragging Kalima, Shiva, like don't. Treat their deities the way you want somebody to treat your deities. It's just like when you say your mama to somebody because you're mad and then they say your mama back, and now you want to fight because your mother is sacred to you. She's a no go, no touch zone. Getting back to my original narrative that I keep straying from because I chase a tangent like a dog, squirrel, and a squirrel. So this woman got on here and making you think that she is this divine force. And there are several different interpretations because that's what happens. It's even happened with the Holy Bible. There are several different translations, interpretations. The Jehovah's Witness have one Bible. The Catholics have one that has a certain amount of books. The Protestant church has one that has about 66 books. And you got the Council of Nicaea. And if you ever looking into that, honestly, as a Christian, it'll break your heart. But I digress from that. So there are several different interpretations, but I just want to tell you these are energies. These are the elements. Hell, earth, wind, and fire kept trying to tell you guys. They kept trying to tell you, and you weren't really hearing them. That's why their music is so universal because they're not called the Babettes. They're not called the chipmunks and the chipettes. The earth, wind, and fire. Who can argue with earth, wind, or fire? Everybody has it. Everybody deals with it. Everybody is associated with it. It belongs to everybody. That's why you can hear their music in the recesses of Myanmar, Burma, Jamaica, South Africa, Japan, whatever, because it's universal. I submit to you that so are these Orisha, except this is your specific ancestral way of calling them and relationship with them. Maybe in India they have different words for that. Maybe in China they have different words for that. But just like Shango is the energy of thunder and lightning, It's like telling somebody, oh, you just say thunder and lightning. Thunder and lightning actually has a name you can call it by. Sango. It's like saying, hey, boy, come here, boy. And it's like, by the way, his name is Jamal. You can call him by his name. You got these generic words for God because the name of God is so sacred, people stop saying it out loud. And that's why you say God. Do you know God is a title? Do you know Lord is a title? It just means master, owner. That's not even your God's name. It's not even his name. It's a title. It's like calling somebody a landlord. Hey, landlord, come here. Hey, landlord, first of all, my name is Mrs. Taylor. Teacher, teacher, teacher. I have a teacher. I was a school teacher for a decade. Like, you know, I have a name. That's my title. That's my occupation. But, I have a name. It's the same thing with these Orisha. And you guys are like, oh, these are other gods. These are false gods. Oya's in your life. What do you mean false? How are you defining false? Untrue? Shango's in your life. These are just divine forces of an energy. Oh, yeah, you got storms, wind, whirlwinds, hurricanes. That's her domain. So if you're going through Hurricane Katrina and you're begging for it to stop, you might, instead of saying, oh my God, windstorm, stop it, hurricane, stop it, you can be like, oh, yeah, why are you doing this? You know they busted up our levees. You were here before us. That's why they call it your ancestor, because it's the thing that created you that was here before you. Do you know you are created from water? Do you know you are created from earth? Do you know your body is made of earth, wind, and fire? I can't. Because I just got done talking about earth, wind, and fire, and I didn't even mean to make that connection. Oh my God, Ashe. Like, I didn't even mean to, but do you know that, like, it's like, oh, we're made of earth. So somebody just spit in the earth and created you? What about when we play with clay and they put it in a kiln? The kiln, KILN, that's an oven to bake you into place. So your form is solidified. You're not just made of earth. You're not just made of fire. You're made of earth, wind, and fire. Spirit. That's all these Orisha are. You can call them by, you can be like, hey, human, excuse me, I need help, human. Hello, earth, can you come to me, please? Hello, fire, I'm talking to you. And it's like, my name is Gehenna, and I would prefer you. My name is Jahim in Arabic, fire. And I would prefer for you to call me by my name. I'm not listening to you. Who you calling boy? Who you calling girl? It's like, dear, oh, dear, get out of my, oh, my name is Bambi. Check yourself. Oh, rabbit, oh, rabbit. I'm not talking to her because she know my name, Thumper. I'm not thinking about her. Oh, lion. Oh, little lion cub. Forget her. She's being passive aggressive. She know my name, Simba. These things have names. These entities, these energies have names. And this is what your ancestors called them. This is why Beyonce is still a Christian. I just pray that we don't crash. Keep my Bible on the dash. We gotta keep the faith. Do you listen? And she says something in Black Parade with my ocean energy. Drip all on me. Ankaradashi print. Hold up, don't I smell like such a non chaba answer? And people like, oh, she's a witch, she's a this, she's a that. She's still a Christian. You want to know why? Because these aren't other gods. These are the forces of nature. Some woman on the internet doing her ooga booga boo dance saying, "Ooh, I'm Oya." Then name all your children. I dare you. Name all your children. Name all the people who you have crowned. If you're really her. Name the people who walk and talk with your energy. You can't. You have no knowledge of that because you're not Oya. There are people when you're comfortable in certain places, that's the secret no one's telling you. When you want to find out what Orisha walks with you, talks with you, there's divination, and you should go to a Babalawo or a female priestess who can help you, but they see the energy that walks with you, talks with you. If you're a lot like Beyonce, you probably got Oshun energy. If you're a lot like Solange, you probably have Yemea, Yamoja, Yemenja energy. If people compare how you do things to Iron Man, you might have Ogun energy. If your man is like Iron Man, is just good with the tech and good with building things and good with coding and industry, metals, he might have Ogun energy. You got these herbs on lock. People call you a kitchen witch. You know what root does this and that, and you're a Dr. Sebi healer. You might have Aja energy. It don't mean you're not a Christian. It don't mean you're not a Muslim. It don't mean you're not any of these things. It's just an energy. Wake up. These people, these Hollywood people make billions of dollars off of the culture of your ancestors. And you go and you go to that movie and you support those people. You give them your money, you take it out of your community. And then the roots, this thing is your birthright and it belongs to you. And when you see it in your own image, you demonize it. It's okay to decolonize your mind. And the first step of recovery is realizing you have a colonized mind. I'll be goddamned if you're mad at any racist and you're anti black yourself. You drag people for having big noses and nappy hair. You won't date a dark skinned girl because I don't roll like that. I'm not attracted to them. Whole time you darker than the dark skinned girl you're talking about. You're anti black yourself and you're worried about these police and these people hanging you from trees. When you think like them about yourself, about your ancestors, all these people, oh, I'll whoop you. We are not our ancestors. Fool, your ancestors rebelled in ways you never have. They dealt with things you never have. You think Harriet Tubman and Nat Turner were the only ones? They risked their lives. They died, they bled. It was ugly. Fighting for you, with you in mind, with their offspring, with their progeny, with their legacy in mind, and you look at them and say, "You done African, you godless Native American, you godless Aborigine." When every other culture makes movies, all you see is their ancestors, except for African Americans. The so called African American, who's not even an African American because you were called an African American to strip you of your destiny, your birthright, and identity. My mama birth certificate don't say African American. My grandmammy birth certificate don't say African American. Everybody born before the early 80s, it's an arbitrary term. It doesn't matter. That's why white South Africans come here and say, I'm the African American. What are you? Y'all not even from Africa. Who's from Africa in your family that isn't 300-400 years ago? What are you? I'm African. Got Somalis walking around here. We're African American. I'm like, hold up, you Somali American. What do you mean? I'm an African and I have American citizenship. Sit down. What are you, nigger? Hard R. From the first diaspora to the recent diaspora. You can talk to the wind and storms, or you can call it by a generic name, or you can just say, oh yeah. You know, when your parents are really mean business, and instead of calling you your cute little nickname, my nickname is Mocha. Moke, Moke, my mom would say. But let's say my mom is upset with my sister. She ain't calling her Face. My sister's nickname is Face because she was always so beautiful and had perfect, symmetrical, balanced features. She's like Alexis Monique. You see what I'm saying? So when you mean business, you call a thing by its name. You might be a person who embalms the dead. We have so many ancestors who were bone collectors, who enslaved people weren't buried right, weren't being treated right. I just saw a woman on the news today who her baby was in some crematorium owner's house, and they gave her the ashes of another baby. This is why we had ancestors who were bone collectors. It don't mean gather the gossip. It means gather. It originally meant gathering your people, getting their bones out of torment and out of limbo and burying them properly, consecrating them remains, not allowing people to sit there. Do you know colonizers used to eat yo black ass? Read the book, The Delectable Negro. None of this is made up. Sucking on you like a chicken bone. Ham bone, ham bone. Anyhow, I didn't mean to go all the way here, but again, I chase a tangent like a dog chasing a cat. I don't know. But please, I agree with you that that woman did an ignorant ooga booga boo dance. I do. But you ain't got to curse Oya because you don't like that what that woman did with her. You sure don't curse your Jesus when the first slave ship was called the good ship Jesus. You over here Catholic and they commission it by divine decree. God's will is manifest destiny, white supremacy, to civilize the darker people of the world by doing unspeakable, unmentionable, unnameable things to them. But you sure are proud of that 10% black Catholic Pope. So I need you to have that same mercy. I'm not saying it's wrong, I'm saying you're a hypocrite. Have that same mercy that you have on your Christianity, what your pastor said to you when you were 14 years old, that you can't forget. And you still belong to the denomination because you know the denomination isn't his raggedy ass. Excuse my language. I'm sorry for swearing. I should stop cursing. I'm saying have that same regard for these ancestral practices that literally come from your people, whether you are an Aborigine, a pre Columbian African. Read They Came Before Columbus. If you don't believe we were here, we were already here. Pre, whether you're a pre Columbian African, post Columbian African, you Gullah Geechee, or you're mixed in, you got both in your ancestry, please respect those traditions. I'm not asking you to follow them. I'm asking you to respect them and keep the nasty iteration of your tongue, keep that tongue off of them. Don't be mad because somebody knows how to call the hurricane by name. You think it's Hurricane Katrina. You think it's Hurricane Barbara. You think it's El Nino. And your ancestors are like, that's, oh yeah. Every single time that hurricane got one name, that whirlwind got one name. And they told you. And you said mumbo jumbo to their faces. That's so raggedy and it's so cheap and it's so unfair because you're addicted to Marvel comics. You're addicted to whatever the other universe of comics are, and it ain't nothing but the stories your ancestors told you, trying to cultivate a relationship with nature for you. And really, you can figure it out about yourself. You know, if you're attracted to rivers and you like honey and your favorite color is yellow or gold, or, whatever, you have all these attributes, or, your mama all is always dressed in blue and white, and that's how she's been decorating her house all this time. My mama, I'm talking about my mama, but maybe your mom too. It's like, And it's super maternal and it's super okay. What up, Yamea? You are crowned with Yamea's energy. That type of maternal protective energy, you're crowned with it. That's you. Beyonce is still Beyonce, but she's crowned with Oshun energy. My homegirl is all about being a vegan and she can't stop juicing. Shout out to you, Thoughts of a Wildfire. I'm like, what up, Aja? You got Aja energy. That's all that is. That's all that is. It's energy. You walk around here a slave to Star Wars. May the Force be with you. They got that from your ancestors. They're just talking about the Force. You might call it God. God is dog backwards and therefore trivial to certain people. So they're like, nah, the Force, the Most High, the Creator. They'll say it like that, but they're not just saying God because it's generic. It's a title. It's not a name. It's like somebody calling you, hey, human, when your name is, Shikandria, Quanica, Sequoia. I'm asking you to expand your chest and make room for compassion for faiths and beliefs that you do not identify with. Some people are very, very comfortable with the dead and they run funeral homes. And they have the most peace in their life when they're in a cemetery. And everybody shuns them and calls them a weirdo. They're like, have y'all noticed that morticians have a look? Have y'all noticed that funeral directors have a look? Duh, because they share a certain kind of energy. They share the energy of Anubis. They share the energy of Oya. She's not the guardian of the underworld. She's the guardian of the cemetery, among other things. And we just say she because the energy is feminine. You got a whole yin yang tattoo on your body. That's dark and light, masculine and feminine. But when we call an energy she, like, oh, they got a goddess. They got a other than God. And it's foolish and ignorant and uninformed. She's the guardian of the cemetery. Some people go to the cemetery and they leave with dead people who have unfinished business. They leave having nightmares about that person. And they feel chased and harassed because that person is trying to tell their story or get them to, help them out. Whereas, oh yeah, if you respect her, you come into the cemetery, you leave your three pennies, you do your thing, you come in one way and leave another way, you come in and announce your intention and whatever else, and you go home and you sleep at night. Well, imagine people screaming that they're Oya when they support people who disrespect the dead. And that's on my deceased son and my deceased partner. Oya don't even like you. That energy don't even like you because you disrespect the dead. There are other Orishas that rule the underworld. The cemetery is not the underworld, it's a liminal space where life and death meets. It's like a door, it's a threshold. You bring your living self to bury your dead relative. It's where the living and the dead meet. It's a doorway, it's an opening. And she's the guard at that door because she lost so many children. I remember being dragged on YouTube that her womb is a cemetery. She gave birth to a stillborn and had all these miscarriages. And this is why I go into the cemetery and I can eat my food and I can sit there for hours like I'm in a park. because I know death intimately. I know transformation. I know rebirth intimately. People have seen me as a Muslim, as a devout Muslim, as a devout Christian, as a keeper of the Passover, as a cheerleader, beauty pageant, gothic, gangster. Like people know me as all these different things because I'm always going through some kind of transformation because I never stop learning. They were like, "Oh, this is one of Chocolate's phases." That's my real name, and I'm like, "I wish you wouldn't say that because I'm really here. I'm not playing." You see me as flaky whole time I'm learning and evolving and growing, and you can't relate to me because I'm one thing now and you check in with me 2 years and I'm some 2 years later and I'm something else. It's because I've grown and evolved and into a strange thing because who can relate? People with that kind of energy go to the mortician and they're comfortable. Go to clean the dead body, to wash and shroud it for burial, and they're comfortable. They're not scared. They're not nervous. They don't have anxiety. Baby, let me tell you something. If you're scared at cemeteries, if you can't be at one by yourself, you do not have all your energy. You don't. If you're scared to be in the forest alone, just walking and hiking by yourself, you do not have Aja energy. No Osenyin. You don't have any of that. That's not you. If you love a good river, all that running water, you just might have Oshun energy. If you love diving into the ocean, if you love being in it, you might have Yemaya energy, although some children of Yemaya are afraid of the ocean. There's that as well, because these aren't the only qualities. You can't just, well, I love rivers. I guess I belong to ocean. Nah, no, you don't. You walk around looking like a bum. She's vain for good reason. Nails did, hair did, makeup did, body did. Just, beautiful, glorious, beautiful to behold, joyous, happy. You don't have all that. My niece does. You may not, but you love the river. Like you might have a tree spirit. I don't know. And it just means an energy you're in tune with. Everybody has a vibration, everybody has a frequency. It's just like tuning your radio. You turn one dial to get, C 89.5, Cube 93.3, Warm 106.9, whatever it is. You turn one dial for that. And all of those different things are connected by how far you go up or down. And you can switch that vibration and that energy. You can be in tune to the AM radio or the FM radio. God help. Like you guys, it's energy that is with you, that walks with you, that can help you. Let's say you're in a burning building and you have, Shango energy, and you're just like, man, I wish it would rain, and it starts raining. You have Oya energy, and you're just like, I wish a wind would blow the smoke in the eastern direction so me and my baby can lean our heads west and breathe, and it happens. It's because you're tapped in. It's just your energy signature. What is an energy signature? It's like your phone number. Your phone number is 7225931. Or Vanity's 5550. What did he say? Something 1127, 1177. I don't know what Morris Day and Prince said that lady's phone number was, but they was calling her, I guess, while she lived in Canada before she moved to Minnesota. It's, what's your phone number? What do I dial? Your area code is 206 because you're from Seattle. And all the Seattle people, if you want to call them, you hit that 206 first. That's where they are at. You want to call them Nollins boys. You like the way they say baby. You dialing 504. Do you hear what I'm trying to say? You're dialed into a certain energy. You just belong with that. You were born like that. You wonder why some people, when they're funny without even trying, and other people will try to be stand-up comics and they're offensive and nobody likes them and their careers don't go anywhere. Because some people are just dialed into the funny. Some people just, I mean, they walk and talk funny. It's just funny to hear them tell a story. You love listening to them, these people tell it. They're a one-man show. How, Eddie Murphy? I don't know. How, Chris Tucker? I don't. It's just the way you tell a story. That's not Denzel Washington. He's not funny. I mean, he's funny to me. He be jacking people. Get your hands off me. He be telling people on the red carpet, "Don't you dare touch me. You touch me again." Like it's like, dude, he's telling people off, and you think that's funny, but like he can't just Eddie Murphy himself or Charlie Murphy himself into an hour stand up. That's not his area code. That's not where he lives. That's not where he's at. He ain't from there. He not from that hood. He ain't from the comedian hood. Angela Bassett, she's from a whole different hood. She's a thespian. She's an actress. Her area code is 213. You got to call that to get to your Angela, but you just dial in. You can dial in, but some people already have it. These are energies. These are forces. There are some people who just dance and they're Michael Jackson and they're Chris Brown, and like you can't curse them and take that away from them. That's their frequency, it's their essence. You see these old men, grandfathers, and they could bust a move. They can still break dance. It's their you can't take it from them. They were born with it. Maybe she's born with it. Maybe it's Maybelline. Nah, they was born with it. And your ancestors tried to pass down stories to you that you were born with, and you're just like, that's demon stuff. And then you go watch it in a movie. That's trifling and it's pitiful. These aren't other gods in the sense of a Western god. It's not a god in the way that you believe something is a god. It's not a deity in the way that you believe something is a deity. If I say I love the wind, yeah, I love a windy day, and I do. I really do. I love a windy day. I could say that and call the wind by its generic name, like I can call you human instead of Dante. Or I can, all this Oya energy. This is my favorite Pacific Northwestern season when Oya is on the move. Yes. So please stop. Please. The Temptations and TLC said I ain't too proud to beg for what I call my own. I call these my own, so I'm begging. Please stop. Please evolve. Please expand your mind. Your Bible says, your holy Bible says, be ye transformed by the renewing of your mind. Renew it. It is okay to admit to being